This is Frank Dunham Jr., a playwright, director, producer, and my friend. And he's based in New York.
Yes,
So,
yes, I am based in New York.
yeah, The Social Order, one
Yes,
of my favorite works you've done.
thank
I
you.
really love the story. And in that play, you kind of foresee so many things that are happening in our society right now. Tell us about it. How did you do that?
Okay, well, it's no trick. It's, just kind of like a little bit of imagination. Um, the social order is a post-apocalyptic world where the social order has control and kind of delegates and dictates, your social circles, your existence, your salary, everything, right down to procreation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
So,
we were fortunate enough to meet and do that because it was the pandemic,
right.
and a lot of people were pretty starving. And we as artists, with theater, live entertainment, we just needed an outlet to just do something. And along came, Zoom became very popular, and I hooked up with a really, really good film editor, FR Dub Productions, under Mr. Frank Williams. And he was able to just take the flat boxes and move them around and, just add a little bit more to it. So it popped a little bit more. And you participated in this dystopia
Yeah.
of, how it could possibly be in the future. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love doing it. It was great. It was a great project with you and Peyton Coles and Russell Scott Greer.
Yeah, great team, great actors, great actors. I had the pleasure to play there. So yeah, it came as a short theater Zoom film,
Mm-hmm.
kind of.
Yeah, just
That
to give
was.
a mini film, so to speak. And when you talk about as far as prediction are concerned, I mean, the
Mm,
subject matter, is very much about having control, but the idea of procreation and abortion, is one of the features in there, which actually brings this couple down. And that wasn't my intent, to talk about the idea of abortion. The whole thing was basically about control. Everything we do is controlled, and it's very, very candid, very in your face, polarized. Like there's no way around it. Everyone knows who everyone is, what everyone's done, what everyone's had, who's everyone been with.
yeah.
Very, very polarized.
And see how many things are coming true right now in our
I know.
society. 8 years later. I don't know how
I
you do
know.
this, but you really can have some talent, a talent to predict the future in certain way, in certain degree. It's scary.
Yeah, I should try to write more futuristic things. It's like, how do I see the future? Maybe I can think of some numbers or some things, and oh, hit lotto. Well, go ahead.
Tell
Yes,
us
we
about
did.
it.
We are informal now. Do you understand?
Yes.
I see this isn't your first hearing.
No, I've applied before.
Twice before. Okay, here comes the female. Welcome. This is hereby now a formal hearing.
Why did you choose writing versus acting as your career?
Well, control. I love the idea of acting. I really did. But I mean, you are in control of yourself as an actor, but it's pretty much up to you make your choices, and how you display and how you deliver, your appeal, your thing. But it's the director who kind of like molds that character, puts you in the right direction, as well as setting up the scene and everything. And when I write, I know I just can't, it's not only just being able to tell the story, but being able to set up the scene. I mean, I'm a visionary. I see the whole thing just as well as I can write it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just better to be in that position. And again, I like it. I like, creating things from the bottom up, not just a piece of it, but the whole thing.
Yeah, makes sense. Huge.
Mhm.
Makes sense. Tell us about your play, another wonderful, successful play, Cherry House.
Cherry House. Yes,
Yeah.
we did 2 successful runs of Cherry House last year at the Theater Row over on West 42nd Street under the Broadway Bound
Hmm.
Theater Festival.
Beautiful
And
theater.
it was a wonderful experience. Great cast, great crew, really, really great appeal. We can't wait to, put it up and do it again. It's a beautiful piece of work.
And who inspired you to write the story?
Um, the women, the women in my life.
Mhm.
Cherry House is a very female-driven subject. Um, the um, the women are the strength and the backbone of the story. It's all about them. It's a period piece, circa 1850s, where an African American madam is challenged to protect a wanted woman from the law, and they're all existing within this brothel in Lower Manhattan in the 1850s,
Mm.
pre-Civil War.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. My next question, Frank, for you is,
Oh yeah, baby.
what is the next project you're working just right now?
Well,
Are you
right
writing
now,
something?
yeah, yeah. Well,
Mhm.
I'm in my little huddle, as a writer. Writers have their thing that they do to, get it all out. I'm writing some new stuff, and I'm also revamping some work that I wrote quite some time ago. It's so cool to revisit things, more than 10 years ago. It's like, the ambition is still the same, but the language was just uh, it just lacked a little something. I'm not trying to down myself or anything. It's almost like I look at and I'm like, oh, I know exactly what to do with that now, to make it even more of a success. But yeah, I'm going through my catalog and just kind of, not rebooting what I had before, but just going over it again, and fine tuning it and making it sharper and quicker and faster. And the new stuff, I'm just having a good time, just creating these little individual worlds that I make up in my head, and then have a good time. And thank God I have a pen and paper, to let it go.
Since when are you writing and producing? How many years
um,
in this industry?
since 2004.
Oh,
I started in poetry in 2000, and I kind of like gradually, I mean, I was in plays and things when I was a child. I thought I wanted to be an actor. I thought I wanted to be a
mhm.
singer, but it just wasn't. I mean, it was great. It was good. I was pretty good at it, but it just wasn't making me like happy. It wasn't until I wrote my first play, Miss Tiki's Cocktail Party, about a ghetto diva who dies and haunts her wake and listens to everybody talking about her. Uh, that was when I really got it. I felt that tremble, inside, like, oh, I might have even cried. I may have even cried because it was just so moving. And I'm like, oh, I want to feel like this every time I write a play. And that is exactly how I feel after every that opening night of any production. It's like, it's like a shudder. I feel so satisfied.
Yeah, great. And what does it take to produce
A
your
production, yeah.
own the production? What does it take to be a producer?
A lot of patience, being able to delegate properly, um, investors, fundraising, money, patience.
That seems to be like a hard part. It's a hard job.
Yeah, depending on the amount of people. And when you're talking about producer, there's so many different lines of producing, but it's a pretty intense position, and I just say that there's nothing better than exercise and lending yourself to other people's productions and things, so that so you can see what the running is if you want to be your own independent
Yeah.
producer. Know your audience. Don't overstep your grounds. Don't be a minimalist either, but
Mhm.
don't overextend yourself, especially if you have doubts. There are no such thing as, oh, I wish it would. Either it is or it's not.
That's right. Yeah, self-confidence is important in this regard. If you want to do this, it's to share your work with your thoughts with the world. It's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Frank. Would you please share with our audience your website so people can
Oh,
go and
okay,
see who
sure.
you are, learn about you more?
Okay, well, we are called Creative Stages Entertainment, and that is our YouTube channel, Creative Stages Entertainment on YouTube, and you can see the clips. You can even see the social order with our lovely Elena. Email is creativestages2010@gmail.com, and the website is csenyc.org. So csenyc.org. And Instagram is Creative Stages ENT.
And I'll put all this information attached to this video so people can see it.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
just copy and paste it and find you on the internet. Well, thank you so much, Frank. It's always a pleasure to work with you, to talk to you, to see you.
Yes, yes, to see each other. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, I saw you recently. Well, I saw you working. I saw your work when you were at Theater Row just recently with the festival.
Nancy Williams, yeah, with Merciful Delusions.
Merciful Delusions, that's right.
Exactly,
That's right.
produced by Nicole Good.
Mhm.
And yeah, so yeah, and I know you came over there and you saw our work. So thank you.
Yes,
Thank you for always supporting us.
Yes,
We
we gotta
always try
support
to
each other.
support each other here in New York. Mhm.
All right, baby. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Take
Bye-bye.
care.